Now, since COVID-19 broke out, working from home has become more widespread. Last year, a study found that South Africa would fully embrace a remote work environment, and only 4% of the study's respondents said they were keen to go back working on site. So what about all these corporate offices, these commercial parks that we have that are now standing vacant or not fully utilized? Let's discuss this now with Yaa Agyare-Dwomoh, a consultant for market research company Frost and Sullivan Africa. Yaa, good afternoon. Thank you very much for your time. Just how strong is a sentiment that the hybrid working model of the last 2 years is here to stay?
Thank you, Dan, for having me. Well, I think the sentiment of this work from home model, I think it's quite strong, and I think that it is here to stay. And the reason that I say this is because South Africa has emerged as one of the top countries to embrace a fully remote work environment, with 44% of these respondents that was identified in various surveys that we looked at that indicated that they would prefer to work fully remotely compared to the global average of 24%. So obviously there's a big percentage difference in that. Furthermore, a second study looked at understanding, what would South Africans' future ideal work environment consist of, and 33% of these respondents indicates that their ideal future work environment would consist of a mix of face-to-face interaction as well as that of remote working. So because of all of these statistics and surveys, it is predicted that by 2023, 33% of all South African businesses will allow for their staff to work from home. And this isn't a significant change from the lockdown-induced 38%, marking the continuity of this trend.
Okay, so what benefits, what do employees see as benefits and for companies and in adopting the work from home model?
Well, I think, there's various benefits that could be included. I think if companies look to re-evaluating their office spaces, I guess one of the main direct benefits would be a reduction in operation costs. But if we look at the different reports, the different surveys that have been done, looking at the new work environment in a post-COVID, after COVID kind of, what we can see is that a lot of employers have indicated that their employee productivity has increased significantly. And in addition to an increase in productivity, we've had a reduction in commuting times. We've had greater autonomy and flexibility within the organizations. From an employee aspect, there's a better work-life balance, there's increased motivation and increased turnover, which increases or enhances the efficiency, which all contributes to better efficiency.
Yeah, so
Happy Tech also.
Yeah, but just sorry to cut in there, just mindful of times, yeah. We are building up to about in about 4 hours from now, the president addressing the nation. So we've got other stories to cover. Just to cut in there, but there will be implications. Especially for the real estate industry, for those commercial property businesses, because now more and more businesses, from your research, you're going to have about 30% of people working from home. What kind of implications is the industry, the real estate industry, going to face?
I think the direct implication is that there'll be a reduction in office space demand and increased vacancy. They'll see an increased amount of vacancies. And we've seen this in cities such as Johannesburg and Cape Town, where the vacancy rates average between 13.9% for Johannesburg and 7.2% for Cape Town.
Yeah, and how can this industry then, or the people who are in this commercial property, adapt? It's all going to be adapting. I don't want to use this favorite term that I've heard now. How are they going to pivot? How are they going to adapt to this trend to ensure that they survive?
I think, real estate agents will need to find innovative ways to get businesses, and this can include negotiating rates, having flexible terms in lease agreements, or redeveloping some rental spaces to accommodate the new norm. So in different parts of the country, we've seen some developers have taken vacant office spaces or older office spaces, converted them into residential units that have an office space within them, or we see developers converting buildings into a co-living and a co-working space. Or we also have co-working spaces where more than one company is operating in the same building.
No, there's going to be new strategies, I guess. They're going to have to come up with new strategies, as you say, because the hybrid working model is here to remain this year and beyond. Thank you very much for your time and your insights. That's Yaa Agyare-Dwomoh, a consultant from market research company Frost & Sullivan Africa. Yeah, COVID-19 has changed a lot of things. People now say, no, I'm going to work from home.